Better to win ugly, than lose pretty. So came out, swung the bats great again. Off another capable arm of theirs that's pretty good, and we came out and had a good approach offensively. Stuck with it. We kicked the ball around a little bit. That team over there is a veteran team. They know how to hit. They know how to fight. They're never out of a game. They put together good at bats against our guys. But we gave them some extra outs there that didn't help out. So from that standpoint, it wasn't very good defensively. We didn't pitch it as well as we're capable of, certainly, but we didn't do our job behind them defensively as well as I would like to have. But we got some things to clean up on the bump a little bit.
You touched on that pitching aspect, whereas yesterday with Halverson and Butler, when they struggled, told them they'd be fine. They were freshmen, but it's veterans like Fitzpatrick and Teeding are struggling. What's kind of your takeaways from that today?
Yeah, I think those guys, for being veteran guys, it's that first appearance is always one that you try not to get too read too much into it. Even though those are tough situations, but Fitzy got a little sped up, and Matty was leaving the ball up a little bit. He's got to be more effective when he's down in the zone. But again, we didn't help him out defensively. But I expect those guys to get better. Those weren't their best outings, and Markle same way. I expect him to be better.
Do you just kind of think of that as like a first game, kind of getting everything in check, or do you think there was something else that kind of contributed to that?
I think it was one of those games where if you made a mistake, team is a solid hitting team that has a good approach and keeps the bat through the zone a long time. So we're not going to be able to trick them. I guess they battle with 2 strikes, put the ball in play, and they found a lot of holes today. So when you have that type of game going on. You have to live down in the zone and try and get them off the barrel, and we had a hard time doing that today.
Was Carlo kind of the bright spot at the end there, being able to come into a one-run game and get 3 cleanouts?
Yeah, that was he and Hunter threw the ball well. Hunter gave up a double there, but that was a play that hung up there long enough to where maybe we make that play. I know the sun's tough over there at that time of the game, but Carlone threw the ball well, in the 9th, and didn't give me any more of an ulcer today, so that was good.
Is he available for tomorrow?
I think so. He only threw 12 pitches, so I would think he'd be hot tomorrow again, assuming he hasn't thrown back-to-back days, like that. But with only 12 pitches, we'll see how he is tomorrow morning. But knowing Cole, I think he'll probably be available tomorrow.
What do you have to say?
How about Isaiah Jackson? 2 huge back-to-back games. How proud are you of his growth?
He's doing outstanding. That's what he's capable of when he's aggressive and stays balanced. He can clearly hit the ball a long ways, and it's fun to watch him break out a little bit offensively because he's a guy that we're going to need. I'm not saying he has to drive in 6 runs every day, but we need him to be consistent throughout the year, and he started off great.
After Santa Clara got him out of that rally and erased the 10-4 lead, it showed a lot about your offensive resilience, being able to come back and get the lead. Was that something that was expected of you? Were you worried that after you lost that lead, the confidence would be shaken?
I don't think the confidence would be shaken, no. But it's the importance of staying resilient offensively and continue to score runs. No lead is safe ever, especially here at Muni. It's just one of those ballparks that you got to score and keep scoring when you have a lead. You can't let up, and so kudos to the offense for continuing to score runs and pile on.
What do you think about Cole's skill set makes him your ideal closer with the weapons you have?
He has his fastball plays up. On guys, with his height being as tall as he is, and extension that he gets, he's in low to mid 90 mile an hour arm, but it plays a little bit higher than that, and he has stuff, that we're kind of missing, up and down the pitching staff. He has a little bit more stuff than everybody else. So for me, that's why I like him back there, and he's not afraid. He likes to come after guys, which is good.
You mentioned kind of some of the defensive miscues, some of the errors that occurred. What do you feel like kind of contributed to those errors occurring?
One guy's trying to just be too special, instead of just make the play. New made a nice play there and on the run and tried to throw it, that's a tough play. Toby's got to understand we got a guy on second base there. We can't let that ball get past us and get down the line. I felt that we were a little bit late getting there from a backing up standpoint as well. And then, on Dina, we were up 3, I think, at that point in time with an out, and their leadoff hitter, Barron, was on second and was stealing on the play. On Dina, some would say, oh, that's heads up. He had the guy picked dead to rights. I would say just get the out. If that guy wheels and scores, hey, we're still up 2 with nobody on and 2 outs. Fine. Ooh, I like our chances. But, that being said, even though he had him dead to rights, we forgot to execute the rundown properly and run him back to the base and then give it up. It just panicked a little bit, sped up on him. So those, instead of getting an out right there, now it's no outs, run across, another guy in scoring position. Wheels kind of came off a little bit that inning. So those are things that we just can't afford to do defensively.
Kind of things like that can snowball too on a team, kind of get out of hand quickly. How do you make sure that if stuff like that does happen, it doesn't snowball and become a big issue?
We have to be above it on the mound and understand that there's some innings we got to get 4 outs or 5 outs. If the defense kicks it around behind us, we have to be able to try to stop the bleeding and execute the next pitch. On the flip side, on Dina, as I'm picking on him, he made a couple outstanding plays today too. Diving play, backhand, gets up, throws the guy out. The short hop on the chopper. He made some very nice plays too. That one, I just tried to do a little bit too much.
What are your thoughts on Ryan Campos' slow start at the plate this year?
I'm not worried.
And then with Cromwick, who stepped in for Kean today, he had some struggles as well. Can you talk about kind of what went into the decision-making process there, and then what you made of Josiah today?
Crom is a capable bat that we played the matchup, right-handed, left-handed matchup, and I went with him, tried to get him in there and get him going a little bit because we're gonna need guys, and I think he's one of our capable right-handed bats off the bench, the depth pieces that should be mixing in there. I felt like going with him today, and as the game unfolded a little bit, and they brought in right-handers, and toward we got later in the game, if we had a lead, I was going to put Vu out there for defensive purposes and left-handed bat. So it worked out just fine. Obviously, I would like Crom to maybe have a little more success than he did, but that's one game. He'll be fine.
Is there a plan to see him maybe behind the dish tomorrow in terms of Campy with a long day behind the plate today?
I'm not sure yet. That's something we'll talk about. If we gave Campy a breather and either put him in the outfield or DH, it would probably be Newman would be behind the plate. He's been catching great and swinging the bat really well. So we haven't made that decision yet, but we'll go talk about it as a coaching staff.
What's the biggest thing you still want to learn about this group?
Well, we're being tested, which is good. Certainly today on having to bounce back, so that part of it is good. But we're just going to have to, the roles are going to continue to evolve and form on the pitching staff. I think you can see that. I guess I don't know if it's good or bad, but no job is safe, and nobody has lockdown spot of, hey, this is X, Y, and Z that we're going to use on the mound or on the pitching staff. So, there will be competition throughout the year for innings, and guys that are not getting it done, people are going to get opportunities. So, but ultimately, I'd like that to solidify at some point in time. But early with the young staff that we have, we're going to have to deal with some growing pains a little bit. But hopefully our offense can pick it up when they need it. And but I'm confident they'll figure it out, and we'll get better.
Who stepped up the most as a leader in the clubhouse?
I think there are several of them in there. Harris Williams, Isaiah Jackson. Campy does his thing. Jacob Tobias. Those are all guys that are leaders in their own right. Brandon Compton's a lead by example guy. Younger guys, Cole Carlone's turning into one of the clubhouse favorites in there, and getting guys riled up and getting them going for the game. That's great. Thomas Burns is very quiet but leads by example. So there's a number of guys. Matt Teeding, is a guy on the pitching staff that, and Jonah Giblin. Those guys are veteran guys that know how to get it done, and I expect them to not let things speed up on them, slow things down, and like I said, I think they'll be better the next outings.
What about Compton? What do you feel like has allowed him to kind of take over in this kind of hitting streak that he's been on these last 2 games?
Just kid's work ethic is off the charts. You know, he puts in a ton of time. You know, we're trying to refine his swing, and you know, he still has things to learn, obviously. But he's off to a great start, and but the kid's couldn't happen to a better kid. He just he continues to work, and he bleeds maroon and gold. He loves it here, and you know, for a kid that just holds a little bit of extra care, I guess, factor for ASU. Not that the other guys don't there. I mean, I think as a whole we have a very good staff or players that love it here, but Comp just has a little bit of extra, you know, bleeds a little bit deeper maroon and a deeper gold than most in there. So he's outstanding. Love to see it happen.
You and Sam have kind of talked about, you told us preseason about how you want to make sure that with the pitching, one bad pitch doesn't lead to a bad inning, and you don't let things spiral out of control. Seemed like you did a little bit better job of that last night. Seemed like today there were a lot of struggles, especially with the bullpen. Is there anything specific that you saw that kind of let things spiral a little bit that you maybe want to cut down on?
You know, I think you know, you can pick to certain guys. You know, I think just kind of executing the pitches and staying down in the zone. I think where we got hurt today, we were up in the zone when we gave up our hits, and you know, just trying to minimize the damage is key. I'm not overly sold that we aren't tipping pitches a little bit too, so I'm gonna have to go back and look at video on that and see if I can pick something up on a couple of these arms that shouldn't be getting hit the way they are, but they did. So we got to figure out, either get better or figure out what's going on.
You were still calling the pitches today?
No, I didn't call pitches. Yes, I called the one pitch and I gave up a 3-run homer. So I told Sammy I'm not calling any more pitches. Go ahead. But you know, every once in a while Sammy will ask me what I give our pitching coach the reins to do that. He's earned that right. He spends the most time with those guys, has the best feel for them. There's times when, you know, I have the right to override if I need to, and there's times where Sam and I have a great relationship. He'll ask what I think on certain pitches, and you know, yesterday he asked what I thought on. I said, yeah, breaking ball, 3-run homer, and I'm like, quit asking me. I guess, you know, you're the pitching coach. You throw them, but you know, it's one of those things. Yeah, that if I have a good gut feel on something, I'll try to go with it. But you know, sometimes both of us are at a loss. Like, man, we're not sure what to throw here.